I screwed up. In my last video where I showed you how I 3D printed doorstop molding for my home, that video did well and I got over 100 comments, but yet not a single person pointed out that I printed it wrong. I'll explain how I did it wrong and how to do it right on today's Filament Friday. This video is brought to you by my Filament Friday E-Leveler 2. It helps you level the bed on these older machines with adjustable knobs. Like this Ender 3 V2 that I converted into a cantilever design. I've updated the bed, the firmware, and I leveled it with an E-Leveler 2. It works great. If you've got one of these old machines, check it out. You can get it on Amazon. I'll leave a link to it in the description below. So these are the moldings that I actually printed for my door, and it's a bunch of pieces that I just put together like this for a whole strip at the door. Came out really good. But this is how I printed them. I took a profile, I made the profile, stretched it out in Tinkercad, made this side flat and this side perfectly flat. So these are 90 degrees to each other. And then I printed it flat on the bed like this. And I printed at a 0.1 layer height. So it came out really smooth here, but the very top of it is like an island. It's kind of hard to see in white, so I'm gonna show you in a different color. But this is really kind of rough on top. And once I got it installed and light would hit it at a certain angle, man, that molding looked kind of rough. So here's how I sliced it in Prusa Slicer. I printed at a 0.1 layer height. This is the finest detail for the default, 15% infill, and then I just sliced it. And let's zoom in a little bit. You can see here, the holes are nice and round. They're gonna come out nice and round this way. Only 15% infill, but you can see how rough it gets at the top. And it took just about an hour to print these things. Each one was about an hour. And here's the result. It actually printed it really nice. I was really happy with the results, but it wasn't until later on that I realized how rough this was. And just to see it in another color, I don't know if this is better or worse, but in my eyes, the orange is easier to see the flaws all the way up, and that top island is just terrible. And then I thought, what was I thinking? I should have printed it standing up like this. And the reason for that is it's just going to go around in circles. So the layer height really determines this. And the flat spot will now be at the very, very top where it's thin. So that flat spot won't even be noticeable when I put it up against the wall. And what I found is I didn't even have to do a real fine layer height. I could go with a 0.28 and it'd still be smoother than printed it flat. And if I went to a 0.2 or even a 0.1, it gets incredibly smooth. And actually doesn't take a whole lot more time. So depending on how smooth you want it, I could print this at a 0.2 layer height and still be faster than printing it flat. It worked out great that way. So I went back to Prusa Slicer, I selected it, and then I selected the edge tool, so I just grabbed that edge and now it's standing up. And I know it's 90 degrees, so it's nice and flat. 0.2 layer height, I sliced it, and let's take a look at this. Now the nail holes are not going to be perfect when you print because you're going to get a little sag in the top, but this looked fine. I could have increased the number of walls, I guess. But look at the print time, 28 minutes. That's half of what I was printing flat because of the 0.2 versus the 0.1. And here's the result. Look at this. I mean, it's not perfect, certainly not perfect. The holes are not perfectly round, but this is significantly better than what I had before. Let's compare. Look at this. Rough versus smooth. I should have done this before I nailed it up. And here's a comparison in the orange filament. And this is 0.28, not 0.2, 0.28 on the right. And it's still significantly smoother and faster than printing it flat. So I highly recommend if you're going to print something like this, print it standing up. A lot of times printing standing up does not print faster than being flat. But because I printed this at a 0.1 layer height to get it smooth, that took a lot of time. So at 0.2, I've cut that time kind of in half, but then I added time because it's standing up, but it's thin. So it really wasn't too bad. So it really depends on the print. But in this particular case, it was better to print it standing up. And I was shocked that no one commented about that in the comments of the video. Usually I have one or two people that point out an obvious flaw in what I did. And this time, no one did. So I thought I'd share this video. If you're going to do something like this, print it standing up instead of laying flat. And I bet you'll get a lot better results and print faster than what I did. I want to give a shout out to my Patreon supporters who are there with me every month. Thank you so much for your continued support. Thanks for watching. And here's a few other videos you might like. If you want to help support the channel, Patreon's the best way to do it. And if nothing else, click on that logo and subscribe. I'll see you next time right here at Chuck Hollenbach's Electronic Products and Filament Friday.